what I'll be doing in this video is to make the 3-block structure on the right. It's kind of a triangular formation. Even though it looks as if it's three-dimensional because it has a light, medium, and dark value to the segments of those blocks, it still isn't as realistic as it could be. And that's where tonal progression comes in. If the light was actually coming from the top, then the corners where the two blocks meet each other, that would have a sort of a shadowy area. This is a tonal progression right here from red to yellow. I need to see more of that tonal progression in certain parts. If the light was actually coming from above like this, I would have the brightest color on top. And then here in these corners, there will be a little bit more, a little darker. The transition from that corner outwards would go from dark to light. Down here, I might have some differentiation. I might have a little bit darker shadow right there as it goes away from that corner. And right here as well. I'm going to use the painting on the right as sort of as a guideline for where I lay out the value of colors. But what I'll be doing right now is filling in that V shape with the same medium orange color, and then I'll go back in with the darker value orange to blend it together so it's more realistic rather than having two different distinct segments of a dark orange and medium orange. They will come together a little differently. After I lay down that medium value orange, then I'll touch into the darker value orange and sort of lay it at the very edge where it meets the bright yellow value. And then I will blend down. So I'll take a clean brush after I put that darker orange down and I'll blend it with a clean brush. And at the very edge of where it is the lightest value, where the light is hitting the surface, underneath it will be a darker value. Slightly darker value. So again, the progression that I made from red up there, from red to yellow, there's so many different values of color in between. I should be able to see those. I need the corner to be a little more visible, a little more obvious. So I'll touch into the darker value orange and touch that line if it was going to be a line, and I will go to the right to kind of blend, but also create a nice sharp differentiation between those two segments. Now I was blending up here in the corner. So I do know that when two sides come together in the corner, this is naturally where darkness kind of occurs. So even though I don't know exactly how the lighting looks, I'm just imagining the light coming from the top, I can just sort of take guesses as where the progression occurs of the orange into the red, of the lighter value into the darker value. So right now I put down some medium orange in the space on top of the bright yellow that was dry. What's nice about gouache is I can go back with a very slightly wet brush and rehydrate and blend that area. I'm just sort of scrubbing back and forth a little bit with the brush. It will activate the yellow and the orange still wet, and it'll kind of move it around and blend it, as you can see. I do want it to be the darkest in this corner here, because the light can't exactly sneak in right there, but it will be here on the more open spaces, the open flat surfaces. If my brush has too much paint on it for me to be neat and tidy while I'm working here, I can wipe off what I have on paper towel and just dip in just the very tip of the brush. And that should make things a little easier for me. Now that I laid down this medium orange value, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the same kind of effects that I was doing on the inside of these blocks. I'm going to take some darker value orange and some lighter value orange and just sort of blend. If the light was coming from the top, it would be making the side here definitely a darker value than the top. You would see some transition of shadow. And again, I don't know what this looks like in the light. I'm making it up. But based on my estimate of how I've observed lighting situations, I'm just going to go with it. I think I went a little too dark with what I just did, and that's not a big deal. What that's going to enable me to do is actually sort of make it darker at the points that I need it to be, and then fix the rest and leave alone the areas I know that should just be a little bit darker. Just gonna crisp up this edge right here. The value difference between this segment and this segment are going to be definitely different. And what divides the difference between them is a nice crisp imaginary line, which I make with paint. It's hard to do this and block what you guys are seeing. So I'm gonna try to do it left-handed. I'm using the very edge of my flathead brush, I'm going along nice and evenly. Need to kind of fix this area right here. A little too muddy right now. I'll go back in my darker value on this side. Just sort of make it more understandable where the division is between those planes. You can use tape. You can use your tape to keep your lines really straight if you want.